Alright, we should be on our last string here. Now, on these last two, you're going to have, or possibly more, you're going to have string tree. And you want to be sure that you get the string underneath that before you tighten it up for the final one. Pull this, grab it about an inch, pull it back, you're going to have plenty of slack. Go around clockwise, under it. They're a little hard to do, but give it a good tug and then pull it over the top. Tighten it up there and hold it with your finger. String winder, start winding. It's going to give you quite a bit of turns on this, more than 3 for sure, but you don't want to have too little. So when you get done, you can take a look at the machine heads and see how much you have. Okay, when it starts getting a little tight there, you want to go ahead and push it down under the string tree, and you don't want to go too high. You're not going to help anything with the bridge or anything like that. So now that we've got our strings on here, these are all brand new strings. I like to push them down just a little bit, make sure they're in the nut. Chapstick the nut, put them in there. As the string pulls through, it's going to, smooth out some of that. We're going to tune it up to pitch. So I like to use the Korg tuner here with the needle. It's a cheap one. It's the kind I like for this type of job. I use a strobe tuner on a pedal when I'm playing, but go ahead and plug it in, turn your volume on the guitar all the way up or you're not going to get anything. Alright, let's go ahead and tune this thing up to pitch. And we're quite a bit off here, so we can just go in order. It'll be just fine. Alright, there's the 6th string. We'll work on here on the 5th. A string. Get that right in tune. We'll go to the 4th string. It's a good thing about this Korg. It's a GA30. Works for guitars and bass. Tells you the string number and the note. This is a D, 4th string. It's good to know E, A, D, G, B, E. You need to know your strings too, but this will help you out. There's G, coming up to pitch. Alrighty. Number 2 string, the B. There we go. And we'll finally get the number 1 E. Get the high E in. Here it comes. Right on. Now then, these need to be stretched. Okay, I'm going to show you something here. Let's go ahead, unplug. Let's just flip it over here. Take our screwdriver. It's not that hard. Keep up with your screws. We're going to take this this backing plate off here. Tremolo plate. Tremolo cover here. I'm just going to show you the strings, the springs. They really don't need adjusting on this one. Fender has a specification for floating the bridge. It's, I guess, kind of like doing a Floyd Rose, sort of, but you will go out of tune, so I don't like it. I don't recommend doing that, but they come factory a lot of times that way. There's your spring setup. I'm using gauge 10s. Here's 2 claws that you would use a larger Phillips head possibly, or whatever, and you could run these into the body or out to the body. Match the spring tension to the string tension, especially with Floyd Rose. With this one, it's not so bad. Here's your block that you get your sustain from. You can swap these out. For $60 you can buy a new steel block. This is a zinc block. Actually, I did swap mine out. This is a bigger zinc. Gives a little bit more sustain, but I'm going to swap it out again. Alright, so that's that. Now, that would help raise or lower this bridge here. I like it flat with the body. That way, when you do a little dive and you let go, it comes right back. So you want enough spring tension there on that to pull it back down. So it's sitting flat. I like mine flat. Okay. Now we're up to string. We've got our strings in tune. Plug that back in. Just wanted to show you that. Just something else for me to keep up with, some screws. Okay. Now then, you want to stretch your strings. Come down here, pull your number 6 string up with a couple of fingers. Push down all the way like that. Do the number 5, 5th string, same way. These wound ones you can do like that. So you need to stretch the strings or it won't stay in tune very easily, right away. And I always say that even once you do this, you're going to have to play it, for a day or two. Let the neck adjust and let the strings adjust, whatever. The little thinner strings, you want to be a little bit more careful with those, but you still want to stretch them. And then we'll do some bends like this. We're not warming them up or anything. We're just sort of, getting out some of the looseness that may be there. Press down a little bit up here at your nut. Alright, let's check the tuning again. You can probably hear we're off 6. There we go. Everything should have went flat. It's no big deal. Bring it right back up to pitch. You want to try this a couple of times. Maybe several times. And even when you use the whammy bar with this, it'll generally stay in tune pretty well. Okay? Let's do that again. Now when we just tuned just then, we stretched them even more. Okay, so we don't want to overstretch them before we do the intonation. I like to do it before you play on them too much. Okay, we just stretch them out again. See what that did. Make sure they're in the nut. Went flat. Not even a half step off, but it did go flat. A string stayed pretty good. D string stayed pretty good. G string went quarter step flat. B's pretty good. I'm bringing it in. Okay. For all intents and purposes, that's pretty good. Alright, so we've done the strings now. We've stretched them. We're going to take a look at the tremolo.